Good evening to everybody. So today I was thinking about what I could talk about, and I feel to tell a story that's related to what's going on right now, and it's about imaginations and how imagination is imagination is literally more powerful than we think. It's like a seed. When you imagine something, you're planting a seed out there in the universe, and action is what makes the seed to grow. So the moment that you think about something, it's already there, and many times I experience the power of imagination, and initially not being conscious about it, and obviously dismiss it as a coincidence. And then over the years, when I start to get more into spirituality and more more trying to understand what maybe life is about, I actually realize how powerful it is, and you know, still I still let my mind goes everywhere most of the time, but more than before, I'm capable to focus to something that I want, and I do my best, and I try my best to keep that focus on one achievement. So until I actually achieve what I want. And imagination is really it's powerful. I mean, the our mind it's powerful, and you heard it everywhere. Many people talk about it, and I'm coming to the realization how actually powerful it is, and how is it important, how really important is to keep the mind really focused on what you really want, and really trying your best to focus on what you really want and not of what you don't want. It's really, really important, because something I read many times, that the universe or whatever creates the events around us doesn't understand good or bad, happiness or sadness. It's just energy, and whatever energy you put there, it eventually transforms and becomes something that what we perceive as real. I experienced many times how my imagination, or what I call dreams, they actually became reality. So today I want to talk about one that was recently was it it there are some that actually are more recent, but I want to talk about one because I found that was actually the most powerful that I experienced in all those years. And one of the reasons why I'm talking about this today is because uh, try to visualize my own shop, and I'm daily I'm keep focus my mind on only on the end results, that to have my own coffee shop. See, the thing is that you do materialize what you think more, even what you find to be your dreams, but we don't know how, what at least I am understood yet, how they will then mm, how they will develop, or they will unfold, because sometimes you do get what you want, and but sometimes it doesn't end up in the way that you want it. There is always a reason for that, and you always will find out and realize only afterwards, only if you can take the things as a lessons and not as a punishment, and if you understand that everything changed and everything's evolved. So I was working in a shop that is actually was something that I did image, I did dream about, and even if I didn't think about it anymore for a while, and then it actually ended up to be what I was dreaming for. The only things that I couldn't control, or at least at the moment I cannot control, is how it would evolve. And it didn't evolve in the best way. It started in the best way, and it did not end up in the best way. And literally, before coming back to London from Edinburgh, I actually dreamed that I could work in this shop, even if the owners doesn't know, but I already knew the shop and I already dreamed to work there. And all the details of what I wanted after working this shop, they are all materialized. What I did not know is that this friend would get rid of me. That we are not going in the details right now is not important. So anyway, it did not end up as I wished, and unfortunately, it's always for a reason we know: money and control. But it doesn't matter, because I learned lessons from that, valuable lessons, and I know and I believe that is for the best, because the kind of idea, business related, that I have, it is obviously important that I have a fully control of the business. So so that's why the lessons is probably that I can create what I want, but obviously that was just sometimes it's just to show you that you can, or sometimes it's just to give you the chance to see if it can work. But then things can change, and in a way that is more suitable for you. It's just sometimes it's masked. It's like sometimes it comes like a disguise, like something bad, something that we perceive as a bad, but it's actually is what we needed to eventually get our bless, obtain our bless. And I know that what happened with this friend is actually what we call a blessing disguise. So I now know, again, put into action my imagination that it would be to open my own coffee shop, that is a community-based coffee shop, and I know it will happen. And I found, reading about people that, or philosopher, and people that experimented before me, that it does really work. So if you pretend that it's already there, even if you don't have it, eventually you will get there. So it can be everything, like in this case, just set up an Instagram account, a Facebook page, pretending that I already have this shop, just posting things about coffee, about art, about books. That is the concept of the shop, and I know it will happen. Just I don't know when. So the story is something that happened like more than 4 years ago in London before I left to Edinburgh. I was working for a cafe in Fulham, and I quit. I quit because this is another story of synchronicity and the soulmates and the soul groups that I will tell another time. But I quit the job because I needed to go to Bangkok for a business project that still going on. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen, and I have to go to Korea, South Korea, in Seoul to meet someone. Someone is very important for my spiritual development. Someone, I would say, someone that is part of my soul, and that I need to see. So I left my job. I went to Thailand, and then I went to Seoul first in South Korea, and then Bangkok. So in that month, it was, more like a fun, like obviously I didn't have any attachment, because that's really important. Because if you don't have, so if you visualize without the attachment, is when it does speed up the process, because that's the main thing. So everything happens when you detach from what you want, because attachment, it's fear. Attachment means fear to lose it, whatever it is, and that feeling of fear is what repel it. But when you visualize, when you dream something, when you made something without attachment, because what you needed to be attached for, everything is temporary. So it's hard, but that's the reality. There is no point to be attached to anything, people, object, jobs, nothing. We're gonna be gone, and we are not gonna bring anything of this. So detachment is the most important thing. And when I was imagining this future shop, future pay, future employer, there was no attachment. It was just, if it happen. If it doesn't happen, who cares? So I went, on and on in that month between South Korea and Thailand, dreaming that back to London I would find a job that was in the same area where I lived in Fulham. It would be same walking distance as my old job, my old workplace, that I would receive a certain amount of money as a salary, and employers had to be easygoing, a bit hipster, relaxed, chill. Had to be a new business, and I had to be the manager and start with a new business. And almost every day I was like, dreaming about this. But with, I was more like as a fun, like for fun. There was no attachment, nothing like, oh, I wish it's really happening. As I hope it's really. No, it was just like fun, just dreaming about this job that I would get back to London. So when I came back, I actually forgot about of this. So I stopped, actually thinking about the kind of job, the kind of pay, the kind of employers, the kind of business. And I actually, I started to try to find a job. And so this is the funny thing, the interesting thing is that I registered to one of the most important websites for people in the coffee industry, but I could not log in. Somehow, I could not log in. I tried in with my computer, nothing. With my smartphone, nothing. In the internet cafe, nothing. Like I could not log in. Like for literally 3-4 days, I could not log in. All right. I was like, I mean, I had savings. So I was not in rush and hurry, no stress. All right. So and finally, I was able to log in, and I applied for many jobs, many. Like it was crazy. Like I would normally get a job offer after like one day. I was, after one day I would start to get job offers. Like literally one day I would start to get, job offers and interviews. Like for literally for 2 weeks I did not get one single reply. One single reply. I was like, obviously, I start to get worried because you can't think about those kind of things and like, what's going on? Maybe I'm too old, but the reason I didn't put my age on the CV. I don't have enough experience, but it's weird because I have a lot of experience. And I could not understand. I was kind of like, I was like, I knew I would eventually get an offer, but I really didn't know what was happening. So I woke up in the morning. It was already like 3 weeks that I was back from the trip, and I went to my old cafe for a coffee, and two of my old customers, saw me there at the cafe, and they asked me like when I would actually go back to work because they thought I was just in a holiday, and I told them that no, I quit, and that I wanted something new, something different. Because I already been in this cafe for 2 years and a half, and I wanted something different. And he told me, like, can you come outside? I need to talk to you. I was kind of like wondering, like, what the hell is going on? So he took me on the side and he said, look, I can't tell you now all the details, but we're opening a cafe, and we would like you on board as a manager. Okay. Look, let's catch up in a few days and I tell you all the details. Wow, all right. I checked my phone. It was 11:11 a.m. Well, I mean, for people that is into spirituality, philosophy, 11:11 is a very powerful number. I mean, it's a number of manifestation. And if you believe in that, who believes that when this number show up, 11 or 11:11 is even more powerful. It's your the things you think, you dream, they will coming to fruition, so they will become true. So I had this feeling that it's going to happen. So we met a few days later, and it was like, look, Alex, we're opening this cafe, and this cafe is inside the station. And for me it was like I was kind of like, fuck, it's a same walking distance from where I live, and we want you to be our manager. And the guys, I knew the guys because they were my customer for 2 years now. It's a very easygoing, hipster style, really chill. And they asked me, how much do you want? So because it was a new business and I like the guys, I just, I said, look, just give me this, just as a start, and then how things get better, we can talk about. And it was like, no, 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 no. Look, you you deserve more than that. And what they offer was exactly the salary that I envisioned. So literally, I end up getting exactly what I envisioned. A job in the same area where I live, same walking distance from where I live, like my flat. Say the right, this exactly the same amount of money that I was thinking about. New business, and I would start in the new business as a manager. So everything was exactly as I dreamed. I worked in this place for 2 years, slightly more than 2 years, and then I left and I moved to Edinburgh in Scotland. We ended up having some problem, issue, argument. Um, in their way, they tried to rid me off with not paying me taxes. But all this, taught me that I might be wrong, but you can actually get everything you want, like if you can imagine it, and if you believe it. That means that if you put your energy there, and that belief that is going to happen, it's literally another sort of detachment, because you're not attached. You know it's going to happen, or even if it's not, even if you don't think like okay it's gonna, but the fact that you put that energy is creating something. So what I learned is that even if you get everything as you dream, you cannot, probably a bit, I think you cannot control how the other people involved are gonna behave, react, become. Because see, initially those people were exactly like it's like those guys, those my old customer, and then became my employer. They were actually as I dreamed, easygoing, hipster, and they were. But what I didn't know that eventually they would get into money problems, debt, and obviously living in a society that is all based about money. If you don't have money or you have money problem with money, sometimes even if you are not the bastard, you will end up trying to save your ass, ripping off whoever you can to save your ass. Because in a society that is based on money, it becomes sorry, some pain. It becomes like a jungle where the stronger survives, and you need to be stronger. So anyway, I materialize everything I actually dream, except that they will lose some money due other business failure, and then everything would change. They would not be easygoing anymore. They would not be chill anymore. Obviously, they needed to survive. They have kids, and they needed to find a solution for that. So, imagination is really important. So, I need to figure out at this moment if I can actually control or create even the next circumstances. That means that you can focus on what you're going to materialize, and then I need to understand if I can focus even on the future outcomes and see if they're actually happening. So I don't know yet. I always focus, on something I want to materialize, but I never thought or focus on, maintaining a certain situation good. Maybe it's possible. I never tried yet. I will. But definitely, when you focus and you imagine and you're detached from the outcome of something that you want to reach, get, eventually it will. And I said, at least in my life journey, it does work in this way. Many times that I'm gonna talk about in the future as well. So yeah, that's my advice, and for who resonates, image what you want and not what you don't want. Focus in what you want and not in what you don't want, and always think about the best outcome, and train your emotion to feel good. So that's what they call gratefulness. Grateful. Be grateful for whatever, because that's what makes your emotion feeling good. It is what the emotion is energy. So that's why the touch. Because if you are not attached, you don't feel stress, anxiety, worry. So that means your emotion are good, and the good emotion, good energy create good outcomes, and it will manifest the good things that you want. So I hope you enjoyed this story, and see you next time. It's a bit late here. Good night.